Derbyshire's Peak District, home of a crooked spire, a stately pile, and part 2 of the 2016 Local Government Challenge.
It's nice to be back.
Chesterfield, early spring, 2 p.m.
Good afternoon to all of you and welcome to Adult Care.
In a community hall, our 10 candidates from councils across the country are poised for another round-the-clock challenge. And until this moment, they have absolutely no idea what the next 24 hours will hold.
The overall purpose of the challenge, we're asking you to investigate how to provide high-quality, activity-based projects for people with learning disabilities that don't require council subsidy.
Across the wide-open spaces of one of the wildest counties in England, thousands of people need help from Derbyshire County Council's adult care services, many with learning disabilities. But as with everywhere else, that care is being given against a backdrop of massive savings, £37 million worth by 2020. Blue sky thinking is essential.
We need to find some new sources of funding, so that's my hope, that we'll get this new thinking, this free consultancy, and it will really help us to find a way forward.
The more immediate way forward is by bus, as both Team Pioneer and Transform head off to find out what's happening on the ground. First stop, a project where vulnerable adults learn skills including gardening and animal care, helped by some unusual teachers.
I got on drugs at a young age, ended up on revolving doors, spent 10 years of my life in prison. Knuckled down on my last sentence, got a lot of qualifications, fixtures and fittings now I am.
I knew all this that died in all the disasters.
A few miles away, a lesson about the area's mining past and present success from workers in a landscaping and gardening business staffed by people with learning disabilities. Real jobs making a real difference.
The increase in the confidence, amazing.
For the candidates, the visits have clearly made the challenge personal.
Literally out of the earth that it's inspirational. It, like I say, does put a lump in your throat.
It really needs to work, because there is a reality behind it that
if you do something for the businesses around the
if nothing changes, these people won't have this to go to.
I wouldn't come across people like that in my line of work ever in my life.
No.
And knowing it's reality check.
I don't get to meet the end users, I don't get to meet the people that benefit from what councils do, so it's really valuable.
A quick hop across the peaks now, and the challenge touches down at county headquarters in Matlock. The teams are meeting both council staff involved with care delivery and more organisations who get support.
Could be reinvested directly into the project.
And all the time, challenge observers are assessing how both teams and individuals are working.
They've been talking to different service users who have different levels of need and support. So it's very complex, and I think they're struggling to get their heads around it a little bit, if I'm honest.
It's interesting to see how some of them just go off and talk to anybody, and others still need to ask for permission. Hopefully they'll all just go away and start talking to people over time.
So it's just a non-reading for everyone.
Finally today, team time, and a chance to reflect on everything they've heard. The Challenge's team captains now have the few short hours overnight to organise ideas into proposals, and then they'll face tomorrow's expert judging panel.
There's a discussion about what the challenge is actually about, where I think there was some clarity, and I think we sought some assistance from the observers as well, which I think will help, because I think otherwise we were going to go down a route which would not have been fruitful.
We've agreed the main principal points now, before we move on. So I think that's going to really take us on to now sitting there typing away that presentation, that report. The buzz is great, and to be honest, it's a challenge. It wouldn't be a challenge if we were going to bed at 9 o'clock, would it?
It's Tuesday morning.
I thought, wow, what an amazing thing. Are you telling anyone else?
And there's one more round of fact-finding. Meetings which give the teams the first chance to try out some of their ideas. But the main focus now is in the team rooms.
This one's been tricky. This one has really been tricky.
Oh, come on.
And while the teams hone their thoughts, the judges are already looking at their written submissions. Joining the LGA's challenge sponsor Claire Holloway this month are Derbyshire's Chief Executive Ian Stevenson, Deputy Leader Paul Smith, Assistant Director of Adult Care Julie Voller, and from the Derbyshire County Learning Disability Partnership Board, Paul Lobley.
We're not here to reinvent the wheel. We're here to enhance the project.
Time to face that panel then. Transform go first.
Into a business. This is what Team Transform wants to do. It's a 4-stage process. The first stage would be basically for supporting individuals. The second stage would be on working on work experience through the community projects. And the third stage would be through working and learning, providing them some kind of apprenticeships or traineeships. And the fourth final one would be that we get them to independence, the fact that they get employment with a business.
And so they sent me to a place called Rhubarb Farm. I don't like rhubarbs, but I thought...
A blend of role-playing and graphics gets Transform's messages across.
So there's a whole range of options, all hopefully culminating in increased independence for the users.
I'm just wondering...
Questions follow.
How do you think we should be engaging with industry?
A great start would be for you to showcase and say, look, these are the individuals we brought in and we're taking them into paid employment.
This is the banner in which our project kind of sits, and it will be a wider social media campaign.
Pioneer's turn now.
Team Pioneer's proposal is to focus on the current community project provision as a suitable alternative to a traditional day service model. We will be using a game-changing team to professionalise the current community projects, and we'll also be looking at a lottery to help bring in additional funding.
And a quick lottery draw is used to explain the concept.
65 is £650,000 per year into those community projects based on sales of this alone.
My worry is that we just shift some of the funding streams.
More questions and answers.
It was something that was viable, but it wasn't us doing it for them. They have the ability to do it themselves.
And it was an extremely close contest.
And then, after considerable deliberation, a decision.
Transform won today. Well done. Very well done. Very well done, both teams.
That was an unbelievably good challenge, and the ability of the teams to get to grips with what they are faced with seems to be growing.
We actually appreciate both teams, each other's proposals, which is good, and we can learn from them as well.
We're going to use this as an opportunity to pinch ideas from both of the presentations.
I feel like it's suddenly got a bit more serious.
We're planning having the Derbyshire Leadership Challenge and any similarity with the LGA Challenge is purely intentional.